So it's been about 6 or 7 months since I finished my woodworking bench, and I thought I might do a brief update on what I've been working on, how it's worked out, and just talk a little bit about some of the things that I thought I might need to do, and turns out I don't. If you watched the first video, the only video that I've made, I talked a little bit about this little star wheel down here at the bottom of the leg vise and not knowing whether that was going to work out. I might need to come back and do modifications. As it turned out, it's been a non-issue. It's really worked well. It really adjusts pretty quickly, so I'm not going to change anything there. I think I did mention about maybe putting some hold-down clamps here in the top, making some holes for that, and I think I've decided I'm going to do that. I haven't. I can't really decide what type I want to use. I don't want to do the type that you hit with a mallet and it cocks in the hole of the bench. I don't really want something I got to screw in or get underneath the bench to release. But anyway, I haven't decided on that, but I'm definitely going to do that. The bench has really worked out well. It's done everything I've asked it to, and frankly, I don't know how I got by all these years clamping stuff to my table saw and the bench that I had, or rigging up things with clamps and holding boards on edge to plane them, but I've been really pleased with how much more efficient my woodworking has been. So for the last 4-ish months, I've been working on an acoustic guitar. Never built one before, and decided that I wanted to undertake it. It's probably going to be the most challenging thing I've ever done from a woodworking standpoint. It's loosely based on a Taylor Grand Concert guitar, and it's like I said, it's going to be challenging. It's very precise. You can't just get it close and sand it or cut it off a little short or add an extra piece in if you need to, like some typical woodworking. It's pretty exacting, so it's been fun. But I actually have a good friend that Randy Grove, that let me borrow his Bridgeport mill to lay out the fret locations on my fingerboard here. I used his digital readout to scribe lines. I think you can see some of the lines here for the fret locations, and then I'll of course just scribe those across and cut the locations for the frets. And that was really one of the things I was struggling with, about how to precisely locate the frets. And thought about this idea, and he let me borrow his mill. And he also encouraged me to post some of the videos of my guitar build. I took my guitar over and we talked through it. He and I have been friends for a long time, and a lot of similar interests, woodworking and guitars. But so I think I might take him up on that and post some videos of the progress of the guitar build, some of the milestones maybe. If you watch my first and only video, you realize that I didn't video any of the steps of me building my bench. I'm such a slow, meticulous woodworker. My wife says she agrees with the slow part, but And it takes me a long time to research and try to decide exactly what I want to do. And so if I'd have filmed each step of the woodworking bench, I would still be making the woodworking bench. So again, I'm not going to film each step or record each step of the guitar. I'll just, maybe when I complete certain steps, or talk about some of the tools. And even though some of them are pretty crude, this is probably the one and only guitar I'm ever going to build. So I'm a pretty pragmatic, frugal person, and I don't want to build some elaborate tool or buy some elaborate jig and use it one time. But so some of the videos may be about that, but I'll try to be a little more, like I said, more diligent about doing that and sharing. But the guitar has a spruce top, black walnut sides, and back. Got a maple strip running down the center joint. Still yet to do the binding for the edges. I've got some tiger maple for that. So the top won't be too challenging, I don't think, because it's flat. But the back actually has a compound curve. It's curved in both the X and Y directions. So trying to get a router base to sit square while I route out a channel for the binding, it's going to be a challenge. I've looked online, looked at a couple different options that people have used to do that. So we'll see how that process goes. Rosette was a little bit of a challenge. I actually made it offline, and then came back and routed the channel into the spruce to inlay the rosette. And this being my first go to guitar, I really didn't understand maybe contrasting woods quite as well as I do now. And this center ring here, actually I made it out of maple. And so when I inlaid the rosette, the contrast between the maple and the spruce wasn't great, and it really highlighted the little bit of a gap I had between the maple and the spruce. So I ended up ripping all the maple out by hand, because unfortunately I had already cut the center hole that I used for a pivot point for my router to route the channel out. So I didn't have any way to locate the router to come and route that maple strip out. So I had to chisel it out very slowly and meticulously, and then inlaid the walnut in its place. And while it's better, it's not perfect, but you know, again, I don't look for this to be, you know, super perfect, because it's my first guitar. Place up here where the rosette comes together, typically people don't try to match that up real well, because the fingerboard comes down through here, and we'll cover that up anyway. I've got a little place here that I'm going to use the fingerboard to cover that up, so that won't show either. But you know, I'm relatively happy, happy with it. The spokes are maple. This is actually some wood I had given to me about 35 years ago. A guy that I worked with had a walnut tree in his backyard and gave me a big piece of it, so I finally get to utilize it now. Inside, got a maple strip along the back joint, spruce bracing all inside. It's an X-brace guitar. And then the kerfing, I think you can see in there, is mahogany, and you can see a little side brace, mahogany brace in there along the side. Mahogany tail blocks back here on the inside to reinforce the joint, and then the mahogany end block here for the neck, and my neck itself is mahogany, and I'm going to use some dowel nuts to put in here and put some stainless steel 1/4 bolts on the inside of the body to, draw the neck into the body. I actually looked at some other wood for the sides, and Indian rosewood, pretty common wood for guitars, and it was about 10x the price of the walnut. So I decided I didn't want to spend $1,200 on Indian rosewood for the sides and the back and then screw the guitar up. So if I make another one, maybe I'll do rosewood, but we'll see how this turns out and see how I like it. Again, I'll try to be a little more diligent about posting a video as I progress here, and not just do a video on the finished product and take care of that all in one fell swoop. So I think that's it for now. So thanks. Bye.